Good morning, USA. Alrighty, time to revisit American Dad. More specifically, the season 1 episode of Bullocks to Stan. I'm so happy to be back doing Modern Thoughts. This is a series I really do want to continue, but hey man, 49 subs is I'm still very lucky to have 49 subs, but yeah. It does also unfortunately mean that I don't have a ton of people like recommending episodes and such, so which is very unfortunate. Regardless, I'm glad that I finally got another request after a few months, to specifically, and yeah, I am back with this episode. Did not expect to do an American Dad episode. I guess. Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be so shocked. I mean, season 2 did win the adult animation, tied with Smiling Friends actually, for the adult animation poll. So I guess now that I'm going to be covering season 2 semi soon, I guess people want me to revisit a season 1 episode. And to be quite blunt, I learned my mistake from the Twilight Zone episode and decided to just rewatch the review because it's honestly way funner to compare my old review to how I'm going to do it now. And after watching a few more reviews of it, I think the American Dad season 1 review sucks. Not the season itself. The season is still very good. I still stand by that. No, my review of it sucks ass. I'm pretty sure like the day before I like threw up and was really sick. And I almost kind of feel like if even if you didn't know, you could tell something was off if you watched more of my reviews. This is a problem I had a lot during my older reviews, but I feel like because this is like my 28th review. Come on, Z-Man, you should know better. You want an example of how bad this review is? In my original review of Bullocks to Stan, I don't even mention the actual A plot. I just say the B plot had like one good joke, had one really good joke, was mostly mid, and that the episode was just good without being anything special. Yes, those are good things to include in a review, but maybe, I don't know, bring up the main storyline. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, like a 6-month-old Z-Man. The hell is wrong with you? But okay, enough hate on past Z-Man. We get it. You hate yourself. You have depression. What matters is that how we think of the episode now. Okay, so since I did such a bad job last time, this is one of the reasons why I want to do Modern Thoughts more, so I can give some of these episodes a better justice than I originally gave them. Okay, so the main story of this episode is that Stan's boss Avery Bullock, who was on the show for a few episodes beforehand. This is his first like spotlight episode. I mean, hell, his name is literally in the title of the episode. It's Bullocks to Stan. And he ends up getting into a relationship with Haley, Stan's daughter, if you've even known a little bit about the show. So Avery and Haley are dating, but Stan is not a fan for, well, I don't know, guess, bro. Man, boss dating my daughter? Hell yeah, dab me up, brother. So yeah, for obvious reasons, Stan is not happy about this. However, he doesn't really do anything about it because he's at the same time he's trying to get a promotion, and so yeah, it's very awkward. Stan does try to get Haley's old ex-boyfriend Jeff back into the picture. In general, this is one of my favorite parts about the episode. Well, it was unfortunately kind of a short little montage. Well, not really montage, but like only a few scenes of it. I did at least like seeing Jeff get at least a bit of progression as a character. I like Jeff, and this is we did see him a little bit beforehand. Again, much like Avery, we've seen him in a couple of past episodes, but this episode it does try to develop him a lot as well, making him more assertive. One of my favorite jokes in the whole episode was at the very beginning at the hike when Haley breaks up with him, and she's like, "You always agree with me." You're right, I so do that. And he's just like, he doesn't even, he just cannot stand up for himself. And it's also really funny that in this episode he even pops up the question of wanting to marry Haley, which is really funny when if you know, you know. If you're a real American Dad fan, or hell, even more of a casual fan, you should really know. So yeah, I get my main problem with the A plot and the episode in general is that feels like nothing really gets time to breathe. Like it feels like something always has to happen. Like, oh, oh yeah, we have to like establish standing and wanting a promotion. Then let's instantly cut to the carnival. Then let's instantly cut to Haley and Avery fighting. But then literally the next scene, Stan goes to Avery's house and realizes, oh man, Haley's boning my boss. We barely even get time with Haley and Avery. We just hear Haley say, "I like that he challenges me," and that's kind of it. The episode clearly does not care about Haley and Avery's relationship. They really just care about Stan's perspective, which makes sense. The show's called American Dad, and Stan is the titular American dad. I guess it makes sense that they care more about his perspective on the situation compared to the actual situation itself. It just makes everything come off as a little forced. Again, this is a problem when you're still only in season one. You're still trying to develop the characters and all that. Especially since there's this one line when Jeff's more assertive now, and Haley talks about like thinking about Jeff wanting to hit her, and it's like, no, that just doesn't fit Haley at all. And it really made it obvious. Damn, we're still in season one, huh? Look, I know some people consider this to be a start of season two, but again, like I stated in my season one review, no, I don't do that. So yeah, this is still just like middle of season one to me, and yeah, that's you can kind of tell we're in like the 8th episode of the overall show because Haley would not say that kind of thing. But whatever, I can let it slide. It's only one line. I will say the ending of this episode's pretty good. I like once they start Stan and Avery plan to like kill Jeff. I think the episode starts getting really good. It definitely picks up towards the end. I liked Jeff being like, "Oh, I like when." Okay, I'm doing. No, I apologize. I like the scene where Stan's like, "Oh, guess who?" Where Avery's like, "Oh man, guess who you're gonna guess where we're gonna hunt?" And Jeff's like, "A dolphin? No, wait, that's stupid. We're on land. A land dolphin?" And then Stan is having to say, "You." I'm sorry, sir, but he would have taken him a while. And then just that whole chase in general, Avery using Stan like a horse, Jeff staying at the diner, Jeff saying to the waitress, "Oh, hey, I'm Jeff Fisher," when Avery is right there trying to kill him. And then hell, even Jeff trying to be assertive, and then just Avery knocking the shit out of him. And then at the very end, after Stan beats the crap out of Avery, rightfully so, after all the abuse Stan went through this episode. Well, I shouldn't say abuse, but like, the whole situation, Stan's had to put up with that and be like the middleman. It's nice to see him finally just beat up Avery and be like, "Yeah, man, America, stand up to the man." And then so Avery tries to like bullshit his way out of it, but being like, "Oh yeah, this was just like a whole production. I'm not hurt. Jeff, take a bow." And Jeff's just like very seriously injured. That's easily the best joke of the whole episode. I fucking love that shit, bro. Dude, he was twitching, but like his nose was bleeding. That's not twin. That's not normal. You don't do that. Bro couldn't take a bow for that one. Overall, just very funny stuff. That's the main reason I like the A plot. They very clearly didn't care about the story and was more of a joke thing, which is fine. It is a funny episode. I just wish that it felt more developed. I wish they got more time. What would have helped by just getting rid of the B plot. I mean, I already talked a little bit about the B plot in my original review, so I don't feel as much of a need to really go on about this one. But my thoughts on it mostly remain the same. I think I think I was a bit too harsh on it. It's not completely bad. Again, we are slowly starting to get that Steve and Roger dynamic, which rivals Stan and Roger as being my favorite dynamic in all of American Dad. Man, guess who my favorite character is, guys? Oh, you couldn't tell based on that top two of dynamics. Now, but for real though, I do really. I got enough drunk with me. Damn. I do really I love Roger. I really do. In this episode, well, we're still in an early form of Roger when he can't really leave the house or much like that. This plot doesn't need him to, which helps because it really is just him and Steve prank calling. And I do agree that the scene with them calling Israel is the best one. Yeah, I'm calling you because I like you. Yes, like. It was very funny. I loved it a lot, especially when the Israel guy went closer and the other guy was just like, "Oh hell nah, I'm scared, bro." But yeah, the B plot's okay. But again, one okay B plot with the occasional good joke. I think it's okay scrapping it if we got more time developed to the A plot. Maybe show a scene or two, or even just a brief montage of like Avery and Haley doing couple stuff, so we can get a better understanding as to why they are dating. That would have been nice. I don't know. Call me stupid. I probably am, but I know something about these episodes, bro, and I think they could have spent more time developing it. Hell, maybe even do more with like Jeff's confidence. It feels like that was kind of only thrown in there just as an excuse to like get him and Haley back together in a more like, organic way. Let's see. Anything else I want to say about this episode? I feel like going over all the major points, so I guess that really explains it. Overall, if you remember from my original list, I gave Bullocks a stand a 4 out of 5, and yes, I very much stand by this rating. 4 out of 5. Good, solid episode. I like it. However, if you also remember from my list, I actually put it at the very bottom of the 4 out of 5s. Looking at some of the other lower fours of season one, Pilot, Roger Codger, Homeland Insecurity. Yeah, I'm sorry, but those ones are better. Yeah, no, these are all better. I also very much agree with where it ended up on the list. It's good, but again, season one of American Dad is such a good season of television that an episode I like but has some story flaws like this one definitely ranks lower. But again, it's a good episode, mostly for the jokes though, unfortunately. But hey, it's still a 4. I still like it more than all those mid to mediocre episodes. Now that I think about it, we actually haven't covered any meh or mediocre episodes so far in Modern Thoughts. If you've been watching these specific videos in a row, you would know that so far we have 2 for 4s, this and Unstable Gray Hole from Solar Opposites, and 1 5, that being my favorite Twilight Zone season 1 episode, Hitchhiker. You know what? Why not do it? Here, hold on. Give me a moment. Using a Dogman pen since Dogman was my childhood. I'm gonna write down for these modern thoughts how many I get out of each rating. Purely not because like again, this series is still dependent on you guys, so it really depends on what episodes you guys recommend me, but I want to do this purely for fun, purely for funsies, just like to check what you guys want me to expand more on. And so far, it seems like you guys really want me to talk about episodes I enjoyed watching. Again, 2 4s and 1 5, which, hey, I'm not complaining. I would very much rather rewatch stuff I enjoy watching compared to even something that's middle of the road like a 3, and especially a 1 or a 2 rated episode. I can pass on that. Still, though, thank you for watching. I really hope I did a much better job. Well, actually, no, I already know for a fact I did a much better job explaining this episode here than I did when I originally covered season 1. Honestly, I don't want to sway your guys' opinions or anything, but I very much would totally understand if people start recommending more American Dad season 1 episodes for me to give a modern thoughts on. Partially because I love this show so much, but also partially because that season 1 review really wasn't that good. And just as someone who really wants to make his videos the best they can, I do genuinely apologize for making such a shit vid. But hey, hopefully, at least for this specific segment, I hopefully did a better job. Point of the matter is, I liked this episode. I think it's good. I'll see you guys next time.